Hi, and welcome to this video on Spline Kit Pro. Today we're going to talk about LobPaths. So how we can dynamically create splines and LobPaths to lob something, to lob some sort of object. We're also going to look at how we can chain these LobPaths together. So let's get started. Here I've got just kind of a basic example. You can see I've got this box and these 3 points out here. Really they're just used for locators. So how we're going to set up our paths, where it's going to start from, and where we want it to hit. This is a pretty basic demo. Maybe you know this transform is actually some hand and it's moving, right? And that's fine. And we'll generate a dynamic lob path from that hand, while it's animating, and that's fine. In this example, it's just a static box, but it'll work with an animated locator. But for simplicity, let's just use that. So you can see these are just transforms, basically just what you get when you create these things. So what we're going to do here is we're going to have this ball, this one here, and this is what we're going to throw. So we're just going to lob it from this point to this point, and then we'll chain it from this point to this point and here. So with our ball selected, what we're going to do is we're just going to add a lob generator component to it. And you'll notice when I do this, it also added a spline animator component to it automatically. It just needs this for the splines, so to animate along with the splines it creates. So don't worry about it, you don't have to do anything with it. It'll just get created automatically when you create this lob generator. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we'll just go over these. Lob on start means automatically just lob it on start. We're going to use that for simplicity for our demo. Most likely, if you have it, coming from some guy's hand, you're gonna, trigger that at some other point through some other event. But for now, we'll just do this lob on start. Destroy on complete. It can destroy this grenade or whatever it is you're throwing when it completes. And you can also set a particle effect to go off at that time, which you'll see down here when I get there. But first, let's just talk about these two fields. Initial velocity, so this is the velocity it's going to go. Let's just set it to something like, say, 40. And then you can have a gravity on there. 0 means no gravity. It'll travel at a constant speed. Let's just add some sort of gravity in there for fun. Make sure it's less than the initial velocity, or otherwise, if it's going up, if you have it set to go up first, it will not make it to the peak because gravity will pull it down, obviously. So just make sure of that. And now we'll come in here and we can add lob paths. So if you just have one, it's just going to do one lob path. But the way you can chain it is to add multiple lob paths. So we're going to add 3 here. Start with the first one, and so we need a start locator. So this is going to be the reference where you want it to start. In our case, it's going to be this cube. So we're just going to drag this cube in here. And then end locators. Now the reason why this has a size is because you can use multiple locators in case you need some sort of randomness. So you could set 3 locators and it would randomly choose one of those to go to. In our case, where we're doing a chain and we want it to go to specific points, we're just going to want 1. So we'll set this to 1. And we're going to have it go to target number 1. So we'll drag that in there. And let's look at this next one, the normalized midpoint distance. So this is the distance where you want the peak to be, basically. So it goes up and goes down. You can move this peak from 0 to 1, the beginning of the spline, to the, or rather from the start locator to the end locator, right, 0 to 1. We're just going to leave it right in the middle, 0.5. Okay, and then these next 2 fields, you can tell it how high do you want it to go. And this is a range, so it'll generate a random height between these 2. So if you want your height to be specific, just set them both to be the same. In our case, we'll just use a couple numbers, maybe between 5 and 10. Okay. Up vector, what the up vector for the spline will be. So if you need to change that, you can change that. And here's where we have the hit particle effect. You can add that here if you have one. We're not going to add one here, and even if we did, we wouldn't want to add it on this first one because it's a chain. So we'll just leave it blank. And then of course you can add a destroy after. So if you want to destroy that particle effect after say 5 seconds, you could set that there. Okay. So now we're going to chain this. So we're going to add another lob path. Okay. And our second one, we're going to have to start from where it left off at the target 1. And again, we're going to have one end locator, and that's going to go to 2. Okay. Again, let's just create some random numbers in here. And okay, add our next one, which is going to go from 2 to 3. And again, add some random numbers. Okay, just like that. Okay. Again, now if we just hit play, we can see it go to the 3 lob paths. So there it did. Boom, boom, boom. So just a quick, simple example. Again, you know, you can change the speeds and the gravity and whatnot and the heights to get it to look how you like. But that's how you use LobPaths. Hope you found this video useful. As always, if you have any questions, go ahead and send me a message, splinekit@gmail.com. Splinekit's one word. And I'll be happy to help you out, see if I can make a new video for you, something like that. So thanks for joining me, and hope you found this useful.